E-bikes are the fastest growing segment in cycling, so naturally Schwinn, one of the most recognizable bike brands in the world, they make e-bikes too. Today I'm looking at one of their newest models, the Bay Ridge. I'm told this model received high praise at a recent event, and now after seeing it in person, I understand why. First glances show attention to detail and up-tier quality refining touches. Sometimes things don't replay as well on camera as they do in person. All I can say is the Bay Ridge, it has a nice presence. Let's take a look. I'm going to give you a peek at each and every component that makes up the Bay Ridge, then we'll take it for a ride and see how it all comes together. Let's start, as I like to do, up top at the control components. Your first connection to the bike is what you're going to be able to grab a hold of, like these handlebars. 720 millimeters wide, 31.8 diameter, and this stem adjustable. These grips, classy, leather-like, or at least leather-looking, and they're not just looking good, they're feeling good because they're soft and squishy. Beside those, a thumb shifter or trigger shifters, part of the Micro Shift 7-speed shift system. Brake controls are alloy, not plastic, a black base with a polished lever, and what I like to see on hub motor e-bikes, this is a motor shutoff sensor. That's what that wire goes to. There's one on each side. That means when the brakes go on, the motor turns off no matter what. For controlling the electric motor, there's what I see on just about every Schwinn e-bike in this class, the 810 display controller. No frills, practically bulletproof. The 810 shows battery charge levels, gives easy selection from the 3 pedal assist modes, and a 1-button on and off. The extra button, the one that says 6 kilometers, that's for if you need to walk the bike up a hill. It's called a pace mode. You can press that button and it'll move the bike at, 6 kilometers. Or 6 kilometers per hour, which is roughly walking speed. Beside the controls, a thumb throttle, much requested. In the past, these weren't on e-bikes from Walmart. I'm happy to see them now included. A lot of people use 100% electric power, just press and ride. It's nice to see it here on the Bay Ridge. As you can see up top, some tried and true mixed with some new and adaptive. Good so far, and we're just getting started. Moving down through the tapered head tube, we're going to get to the fork. It's a suspension fork. This particular model features dual preload adjusters, no spec for the travel, but I measured roughly 60 millimeters of usable travel. As far as forks on big box bikes go, even e-bikes, this sits in the upper tier of what I usually see. Marked as 700, and you know it's classy when it's spelled out. The 700 refers to the wheel size. These wheels are 700C. Additional features include mount points, such as mount points for the included front fender. It is a metal fender. The recessed notch on the arch, I believe, is for a basket. Looking at the dropouts, I see quick release, something I always like to see. Easy on, easy off with the front wheel. Nice tire changes, or even if you just need to take the wheel with you. The wheel set itself, the spokes black steel, the rims double wall. The sidewalls, I see this a lot on e-bikes. The rim braking channel, that adds a little bit of extra thickness to the rims. I think a good thing for e-bikes. These tires, they're kind of hybrid street tires, 700 by 42C. For getting all this rolling, there are choices, powered or not powered. Either way, you're going to need pedals. These very basic. They're connected to 170 millimeter alloy crank arms, and those drive a single 42-tooth chainring. No gear shifting up front. All 7 speeds are shifted at the rear with a Micro Shift 26 derailleur. Like the computer and the shifter up front, very much tried and true, meaning it will get the job done. Being on an aluminum frame, I always look to see how the derailleur is attached. Nice to see a replaceable hanger. Good job, Schwinn. The actual 7 speeds is like every other 250 watt Schwinn e-bike I've reviewed. I think they're all some variation of the same setup. And that's a 14 to 28 tooth freewheel mated to a 36 volt 250 watt motor. The only variation would be that the motor's sized for the wheel. I've yet to have any problem with one of these motors, and that says a lot. I've had some on mountain bike trails. They've been reliable workhorses for me. I expect this one to give me the same trouble-free output as the others. I also expect this to be a good bike as a bike. That means as a hybrid, it's going to include things like a rear rack, which it already has out of the box. Important to me, I love bikes, but I'm lazy and I don't like sorting through adjustment points. This is factory, so no putting it on. That's good. Rack accessories, there's one if you don't count the rear reflector, and that's this letter holder. At least that's what I call it, and what I use it for, literally carrying mail. The rack capacity though, overall 55 pounds. I'm also going to point out I didn't have to assemble any part of this. It came on the bike, so did the metal rear fender. The rack is bolted directly to the frame, the 6061 aluminum frame. which of course is the main part of the bike, the most important part. And the Bay Ridge frame, it is outstandingly well built. The finish, this has to be seen in person to be fully appreciated. It's well done. The color, it's called gray, it's a dark gray. Glossy and in a certain light, almost looks navy. The graphics are white and clear coated over, tastefully done. Frame size 17 inch. Walmart's size guide says 5'7" to 6'2". Schwinn has been doing flush mounted batteries well, and this is no exception. It looks nice in the frame, the curves contour. The battery is chargeable in or out of the bike, and there's a keyed lock to keep it in place, as well as a retention tap. The battery is 36 volt. I'll put the amp hour on your screen. Just know there's enough juice for up to 20 miles if you stick to the lowest pedal assist settings. Everything is neat and orderly out of the box with internal cable routing. There is an included zip tie to keep this even more in order, but because I donate this bike, I want to keep all that in the original packaging. There is a suspension seat post factory equipped on this bike, and perched atop it, a black vinyl saddle. It has textured pads and a relief groove. The width, I would put this in the comfort width category. And this suspension seat post feeds into the frame via a quick release seat post clamp. Brakes. The shutoff switches I have shown. The actual brakes themselves, they are mechanical disc. The rotor up front, not the usual Schwinn Star 160mm. This is a 180mm rotor. The rear, mechanical disc as well, but that rotor is 160. Either way, it's dual disc brakes. This is a Class 2 e-bike, meaning rated up to 20 miles per hour. This is the cadence sensor, low profile. It detects when the crank arms are moving, and that turns on the electric power to the motor. I often neglect this, and I'm asked about it. Yes, this bike does have a kickstand. Okay, that's the components, everything that makes a Bay Ridge a Bay Ridge. Now the big question, how does it ride? Very similar e-bike wise to practically every other Schwinn e-bike I have reviewed with this same motor. It's going to have the same cadence sensor, so it's going to feel very familiar. Meaning it is well dialed in, the on and off, minimal lag, and the power comes on and turns off very smooth. Not overpowering, and also not weak. Bonus, the front wheel came out of the box rolling straight. I always like to see this. This was a shipped bike, so there's no guarantee. But this one, it was good. To some nitty-gritty e-bike details, power assist levels, there are 3 of them, as I mentioned, on that computer controller. They perform exactly as I expected, just like every other Schwinn e-bike with this same motor. Pedal Assist 1 goes up to 8 miles per hour. Pedal Assist 2, roughly 14. Pedal Assist 3, up to 30. Throttle only, good all the way up to 20. I tend to ride at max pedal assist and or use the throttle. So what can riders expect range-wise out of this? Well, a max of about 20 miles per charge, and that's at the lowest pedal assist on flat ground with your mouth closed. A more realistic range, at least for people that ride like I do, is going to be about 12 to 15 miles per charge. If I'm riding in full max pedal assist, about 10, throttle only, about 8. Keep in mind, the average rider cycles less than 5 miles a day, so that's enough for people to throttle only an entire day if they choose to do so and still have a couple of miles left. You've been looking at me pedaling this, of course I'm throttle only here, but I want to show you the cadence. Here I'm speeding up and slowing down, but I'm not losing any speed. This does not have run out of pedal effect, but it is a hub-driven cadence sensor e-bike, so that means as long as those cranks are moving, the electric motor is going to be on. Equally important, being able to stop, which this does very well thanks to the dual disc brakes. Now let me spin it up from a stop. You can see just how smooth and consistent this power comes on. Again, I'm actually having resistance on the pedals. That's going to be all the way up to the top speed of 20 miles per hour, and I'm in pedal assist mode 3. Let's discuss where this bike is best suited, what types of riding. Well, obviously it does great around town. As a neighborhood bike, quick runs to the store, stuff like that, absolutely perfect. As a commuter bike, so long as this battery gives you enough range, also perfect for that. As a campus or a school bike, getting to and from class, it will do that perfectly. As far as off-road capabilities, there is a suspension to keep things smooth, but that's more riding across lawns or packed dirt paths. Going back to this being a campus bike, tell me this doesn't look like the ride of an intelligent learner. Is 250 watts enough power? Some people claim you need 1,000. Well, that's just not my experience. There is more than enough power for the average rider to propel around city streets on the Bay Ridge. Here's an example. This is a steep hill, meaning more often than not, I see people push a bike up this hill rather than stand and pedal to ride it. I'm 175 pounds, and you can see this bike is capable of carrying me up the entire hill at just throttle only. If I want to go faster up the hill, I can just switch to pedal assist, where it will still climb easily enough that I don't break a sweat. So yeah, the 250 watts in this Bay Ridge gonna work fine for the average person. I know none of us want to think that we're average, but you do need to be honest with yourself, especially when shopping for a bike or anything else. Buying more than you need is wasting money. Buying less than you need, also wasting money. That's why you are here, watching and learning, so you make the best decision for you and for your wallet. So let me sum this up, my opinions, my experience with the Bay Ridge. I think it is well-rounded, it's going to meet the needs, and I suspect make many people happy. Especially the look, it is a classy looking bike. My opinion of this component mix, it's fitting of the goals for the bike. The stated market material on the Walmart website for this bike says, and I quote, "Great for around town or exploring bike paths." Whether you want to do that electrically assisted or even throttle only, and doing that on a bike that is definitely a looker, for many people I think the Bay Ridge will be appealing. Comment below with your thoughts on the Schwinn Bay Ridge. Does this look appealing to you? Would this meet your daily riding needs? I look forward to seeing what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching KevCentral, and have a great day.